Cameras are rolling.
Cool.
Again.
Finally. Sorry. Did you want me to do something else to make your life a disaster?
Jesus, Mike. I don't ask for much. Make sure you're in frame here. All right. And camera 9 and camera 6. Yeah, there we go. All right, I think we're good. Are you ready this time?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
And now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright and so on. It's a rigorous training dished out who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Here we go.
Yep.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the award-winning #1 podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF1 accreditation. On this week's show, Talking Terminology, we're going to talk about blocked heels and the word caulk. Also, a series of X-rays and photos, so if you're not on YouTube, get on there now. And also, we have some videos of a horse that Mike kind of helped out there in the field and stuff, and you can join us over on YouTube as well. And over to my far right side, my very own YouTube star is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm okay, Travis. How are you?
I'm almost there, Mike. I'm almost there.
I know you. We had you just about there just a little bit ago.
Everything's fine.
You still have a couple hairs left in the top of your head.
We got all the videos up and running. We got all the pictures in sync and everything. So, and if you want to see all
We've
this,
got stuff disorganized.
Oh, jeez, man. Sometimes Mike just comes in here with a plate full of stuff and goes, make sense of this. And I go, okay, here we go. So speaking of making sense of this, this past weekend, now we've been getting, we're spring is sprung and all that stuff.
Yep.
And pasture 2 and pasture 3. Now we broadcast every Monday morning at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshall. And right now the buttercups are coming into our pasture. Now I don't know if I'm using the right term as far as the actual flower that's in there. It's a small flower about the size of your pinky nail, and it's yellow. And it kind of looks like a daisy, but doesn't really have that black-eyed Susan look in the center of it.
Right.
And they're all over the pastures. Now,
they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. But if a horse is out there, it kind of struggles or strangulates the grass that they're eating. So we've been going out there with Pasture Pro, which is designed to get rid of the buttercups that are out there. I call them buttercups. If you know the actual name of them.
Another thing I've heard of is bitterweed, because I think they mess up cow's milk.
Yeah. So yeah, I
don't think a horse will eat them.
No, they won't eat them at all. And so what we've had to do is go out there with Pasture Pro and kind of, I call it nuking it. Go out there with the side-by-side with the sprayer, tank sprayer on the back.
I literally go for nuking it.
So we nuked it, and now what I've noticed is, we've had some storms and stuff, and going out there and riding around physically riding out there in your pasture, I'm seeing that we talked about, I think on the first season of the show, the paths that the horses are taking, the path of least resistance, going to and from the paddocks and going to and from each pasture and stuff. So you know what I did? Outside of spraying the pastures and everything, I went out there, and we've had some storms, and we got some trees in the pastures. I've been taking big branches that have fallen down and laid them in the path that they've been walking on. What is that called when we change their path as far as the path of least resistance to make them work a different muscle in a different group somewhere else?
Well, they swing the gates when they move the cows through to make them go down different channels. I don't know.
I know, but there was something
redirecting.
You got to listen to the first season, Mike. You're the one who brought it up.
I need to go with first season, yeah.
So anyways, that's what I've done. And to see if
you're building your own track system.
Well, I am. I'm teaching the horses not to take this path anymore.
Right.
Or if they do, they have to step over, like put a cavaletti out there or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done.
They're probably not going to step over.
No, they'll go around, but that's what I'm saying. I in the process of me going out there and spraying everything, I've noticed that they've worn a walk path.
Right.
And I don't want them to have that walk path anymore. I want them to change and use a different path when they're out there, because they are long ornaments.
You can give them roller skates.
Then
they wouldn't have a walk path. They'd have a skating path.
Well, there you have it. Maybe I'll get some roller skates with some all-terrain wheels on it. Mike, what have you been up to? Anything?
Same old, running the miles up on the road. I've noticed that diesel fuel seems to be dropping, which that'll make a lot of people happy.
Sure. Yeah, especially you. Did you get your front tire fixed?
The front tire is round.
I know it's round, but
have not done anything with this truck. The other truck went in the shop. We're getting ready to start swapping out springs on it, and when that's done, this one will go in for turbocharger and a few other things.
Well, get an alignment on there because your front tires are chunking, and I worry about that because you spend almost $1,000 per tire. You want to get as much life out of them as you can. So if you're out there, look at your buttercups or what'd you call it, sourweed or something?
Bitterweed.
What is it?
I've heard it called bitterweed.
Oh, bitterweed.
I've never tasted it. You should try some.
I'm not big on that.
Especially after it's been sprayed.
All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about, lots to get into. And if you're not on YouTube right now, now's a chance to go over there. Don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a full-length video. You can see all the stuff that happens here in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. We got a bunch of videos to show, a bunch of X-rays, and a bunch of pictures of a horse that, what would you call the back of that foot? What is wrong with that foot that was...
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. Way overgrown.
Okay, so we're going to see that as well. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can be part of the podcast. You can join the podcast. The way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says join the podcast. And you'll click on that. Opens up a menu. Actually, opens up all the past episodes that we had. Maybe Mike will go back there and listen to season 1 and figure out what I was talking about as far as putting stuff in the horse's pathway to train him to use the whole entire field instead of just the one pathway. You can find that over there. And if you have a question for Mike Stine and you want your voice to be heard during the show, we broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can be heard. You open up that little, at the top of the page says, leave a message for Mike Stine. It says record, listen back, and then play. You can be anonymous if you want. It will ask your name. It will ask an email. It's not an email grab or anything like that. It just wants you to make sure that you're not a robot. So your voice can be heard right here alongside of us. And my very own person who I'd like to hear every Monday morning is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing today?
I'm
saying that. That's not true.
It is. I get, not that I get stressed out, but
I cause you stress.
You don't cause me stress. You keep me alive. Let's put it that way. You keep me alive. See, for new listeners to the show, I'm the simpleton of the horse community. My wife rides horses. She knows all about horses. I've just learned everything by osmosis. So when Mike comes to me and he's got an iPhone and he's got all these pictures on his iPhone and all these videos on his iPhone and everything we have here is all PC, I'm like going, okay, Mike, how do I get these off your phone? He doesn't know how to email me, so he wants to text message me. So I'm sitting here trying to, in real time, trying to take pictures off of his phone through a cord that doesn't fit in his phone, and we have to make it fit. And
I can fix it with a hammer.
And then his phone, if you walk away from it for 3 seconds, it shuts off, and then I got to put Mike's code in, which is this 19 password digit with letters. Anyway, so
and I change it every week,
and he can't remember it from day to day. So that's a little behind the scenes there. You can. If you're watching this on YouTube video, you can see that as well. Now, talking terminology. This is a segment of the show where we kind of define stuff that you might hear during your barn talk or talking with your vet or talking with any of your trainers or anyone that's part of the horse community. And we kind of define those terms and describe exactly what they mean and what they're talking about stuff. So this week in Talking Terminology, we're going to talk about blocked heels and caulk, C-A-L-K, also known as caulk or caulking or caulk-in. So
like you put around your windows.
So what are we talking about when we're talking about blocked heels and caulk?
A blocked heel, and when you're forging shoes or building shoes, a blocked heel, a lot of times you can make a longer base of support, but you bring a piece of metal and you fold it over and you forge weld it back to the shoe, so you can make a block that would be that long against the ground or this longer against the ground.
If you're watching Mike, he's kind of doing it in front of the screen here.
Yeah. You could put, a half inch, you could put an inch, you could put 3/4 of an inch and make a great big block, and you could taper it down if you want. A caulk, you take the metal and you turn it to 90 degrees and you drive it back down into itself. And sometimes you make those on more of a pointed, narrow it up because you want it to go into the ground as opposed to sitting on top. A block, I think you want to sit on top. And that used to be a way before all the stuff that was made out there. Now, if you wanted to raise the ankles of a horse, you might put a block on there. And on hard ground, it would raise the angle on firm enough ground, and that's why you make the big block so that it would get some flotation, stay on top of the ground, where a caulk itself would be more of a traction device.
So on my handy dandy cheat sheet here, the definitions I have for blocked heels is the heels of a horseshoe, which have been folded down against the ground surface of the shoe. This modification of the shoe can be done to raise the heels or act as if as a heel caulk, C-A-L-K. And then a caulk itself, also known as caulk-in, is Latin from calx, C-A-L-X, which means the heel. And any of several types of projections on a horseshoe which are used to increase traction after movement of the horse's or of the horse's stance.
Right. And nowadays for traction devices, we're using more screw caulks where you drill and tap the shoe, so it's changeable and it's not always in there, and you only put it in when you actually need it.
And so it's removable.
It's removable, yes.
Oh, okay. And the reason why we're bringing this up is because we have a lot of pictures of a horse, I'm assuming, that use these type of things.
Yeah, there's some caulks that are on the shoes, and then they have barium on top of them and all this sort of deal. And the horse came out of a situation that was not good. One of my customers took it on, who is also a veterinarian, and she'll take on some horses to try to get them in a better place.
All right, so we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, jump on over on the YouTube channel. You can see all this in real time, and we have some videos as well. So we're going to see some x-rays and photos of before and after the first trim of this horse that Mike has. Do you remember the name of the horse?
Not a clue.
Let's call it Debbie.
Let's call it Debbie.
All right, we'll call it Debbie. Is it a female horse? Or
no, but, you know, he's a gelding.
Boy named Sue.
Right.
All right. Go ahead.
Call him whatever you want. He doesn't care. Just don't call him late for dinner. That will upset him.
All right, guys. We're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about or watch all these pictures that Mike has taken on this horse. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. All right. Which one do you want to start with?
That's fine.
This one right here?
Yep.
All right. Make sure we can see it. Yep. There we go. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ooh, fish oil. Ugh.
Still tasty, huh? It's always better the second time around.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget to follow him over on Facebook, and the way you do that is search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine on Facebook. Now, you've got two pages. You've got a personal page, and then you've got your business page.
Business page, yes.
And I've seen a lot of people have left your personal page and jumped on over to the business page, which is fine, which is great, because he does share all the different videos, different furthering education, different articles and stuff. It's very, very interesting over there. And if you just want to have something a little bit outside the norm of your normal Facebook feed, and you're just like, oh, you're getting bombarded with politics and, you know, crime and news and weather and all that stuff, Mike Stine is very educational, good read on a lot of his stuff, and he posts over there.
Yeah, on the politics stuff, I try to, well, not know.
No,
just not know.
No, yeah, he doesn't post anything crazy like that over there. It's all furthering education and all based around the biomechanics of horse and how to help your horse. And over my far end side, my very own politician is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Travis?
Doing good. And I say politicians as I say that tongue in cheek at the same time. Now, join us over on YouTube, because we have some pictures and stuff. You can see this in real time, and every podcast we do has a matching full-length video over on YouTube, and you can check us out over there. A lot of numbers over there, Mike. You're slowly reaching that 3,000 subscription and all the thousands and thousands of views on your videos, so people are enjoying it. People are having a great time. A lot of thumbs up on your videos that you post over there, or that we post over there, I should say.
Yes.
And so right now, this is
couldn't do it without you.
You'd be sitting there looking at your phone still.
Actually, I'll just see how far I could throw it.
So what we're going to do now is give us a little bit of a background. You started telling us about this horse that a friend of yours who's a vet took it on to help them get back up on their feet type deal. Pardon the pun on that, but still.
Yeah, literally get back up on his feet. She has taken on a few horses and got them in a better way and placed them out, and hopefully get them into some good homes.
Okay.
Where people will respect them and take care of them.
Okay. So we're going to transfer over to this X-ray. Oops, that's not an X-ray. This is an X-ray.
That's an X-ray.
So this X-ray right here, what are we looking at here in this photo?
Well, that is a front foot.
Okay.
A front right. And, you know, the feet are long. The shoes were probably too small when they were put on. They're fit out to the toe. And if you drop a line from that next joint down.
Okay.
Find about the middle of the joint, give or take, and just drop a line straight down. And look where your base of support is way out in front of the foot.
You've got about 80% of the shoe in front of this line and 20% in the back.
Right. And the shoes are still on. It would have probably done this guy a favor if they had come off, because at this point they're doing a lot more damage than they ever did any good. And I don't know what's or why's they did what they did, but these shoes have a lot of traction on them. And I don't know what the purpose of that was, because sometimes you can create a lot of damage by too much traction. You can create damage by not properly fitting a shoe.
Oops, I think I went twice on. No, I didn't.
Okay. So there is also a DP, and we're looking at the joint alignment. And
it looks pretty straight up and down.
Yeah, that does not look terrible, but there's just so much foot on this guy.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to switch over to this one here.
Right. There's your hind foot. That's the worst foot on the horse.
Jesus.
And the other hind foot, the pastern kind of looks like a DSLD horse dropping. And I don't know. The question is, did they decide not to do much on this foot and get a foot on because the horse didn't want to stand on the other? Or what? Because there's just a tremendous amount of foot here. And like I said, the horse would be much better off if he'd lost that shoe and he'd have lost some foot. But, I mean, you look at that alignment of that coffin joint, it's broken backwards.
Yeah, it's almost pointing straight out.
And there again, if you
out.
do that line down from the joint, the shoe's just about completely in front of the foot.
Yeah, there's nothing underneath that joint.
The heels and everything are hanging way out the back. And you'll see later on we have a walk and what the effect is when he stands, puts a load on it. It's not good. So anyway, we can go on to the next place.
Okay. So this,
and there's another DP. And you know, on that alignment, those joints don't look terrible.
They're not bad.
Decent enough.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of something, looks like the back of that navicular bone, right down some, right in there. Probably a little bit of changes in there. And I'm not sure how old this guy is, but we can move on.
Okay.
Another DP.
Okay.
And
this is of the rear end or the hind end.
Actually, 4 foot left.
4 foot left. Okay,
one.
sorry.
But you know, the DPs are not terrible. It's the laterals where it's just out of control. You know, and he's a really good boy. This is the hind foot that was the worst one on the horse.
So what we're looking at now, for those of you that are just listening to the program, you've got Mike Stine's hand, and he's picked up this horse's foot, and you can see the shoe, how much heel is coming off the back of it. He's got it.
See where the bulbs of the heels are.
Yep. Here's the heels.
Right.
And Mike's showing you how far this shoe is forward on this.
Right. And he's got caulked shoes. They're like a keg pattern caulked shoe. And I don't think much has been done to them, but you have borium on top of the caulks. And you have a couple of borium spots on the toe. And is
that these right here? These
right
little,
there, yeah.
They look like little welds, little smudges.
They are. It's like a tungsten carbide grit.
Okay.
And on a hard top on traction on concrete, it would give you traction. On rocks, it would give you traction. So I don't know where they were riding this guy and what the purpose of this would be. And truthfully, you know, if they're just riding the horse up and down the road, why are we doing that to start with? You know, because that's not an ideal situation for a horse. So that's the bottom of the foot before anything was done.
Okay. So this next picture here, this is the foot.
This is the foot. By the time I got to it, with him standing there, and he would toe up, and you see the shoes almost hidden under his foot.
And is that a crank? Just a separation?
It's just a separation from the shoe, between the foot and the shoe.
Okay. So that's nothing really
to worry about. That's getting ready to go away. And just imagine what this is doing to the tendons and ligaments. That coffin joint and everything is, when you moved it, your hand's kind of sloppy. And when he stood on the other, you know, put enough pressure on that foot for the passenger to stand up on the other side, that's what it did. Toe went up.
So, and that's the X-ray of that foot.
Right.
And you can see how much of that's got to be straining. That's almost like wearing, I don't know. It's like you're almost you're walking with your leg laying down.
Right.
I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but to me it does.
You're not really walking at that point, you know?
No, you're not.
And so we took the shoes off and we trimmed.
Okay.
And that's the back foot after the trim.
and it's a little bit more upright. I can see that.
Much more upright.
So he's got more rollover on the front.
And I didn't take everything out of the bottom of the foot because, you know, I wanted him to be able to stand on it, because if we took it down to a clean foot all the way down, he might have said, "Ow, that hurts." And just, you know, you can see all the stress lines in the hoof wall. And you know, we did the same thing on the front.
All right, so we're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to examine the front foot as well, and you can see the results of that. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. We'll be right back. Because this is all you have is just the pictures and the videos. So I figured
that's good.
Go into the next segment. Okay.
I had something else I gave her, but apparently that didn't make it to you.
All I got is series of X-rays, and then Mike has some videos with horses before and after trimming.
Okay, we had a big, long discussion about something else. We'll save that till later.
Okay.
I think, honestly, this is a plenty.
Yeah, this is plenty. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can join the podcast at any time. The way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says, join the podcast. Click on that. You can see all the past episodes that we've been doing, and there's a little orange bar at the top. You can speak right into it. Now, if you're too shy to go on the air with us, that's fine. At that same page, you can go to it, and it says, contact us. You can ask Mike Stine a question, physically type him a question. Make sure you put a return address in there, and I've got some new stuff for you next week, Mike. So make sure you stick around.
Big surprise.
I got a big surprise for you next week. So to find out, you can tune in for next week as well, and you can see the new surprise, and you can be part of the show as well over at equinedynamics.com. And over on my far right side, surprised and in awe, is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am always surprised to know. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing well. I'm doing better now. My blood pressure has come down a little bit.
Well, I'll get you back where you have plenty of blood pressure next week.
My focus, my eyes are not blurry and spinning around the room anymore, but other than that. So we've been working on this.
If you don't have enough blood pressure, you got a problem.
Yeah. We've been working on this horse, or Mike has been working on this horse, and this is a horse that he was called out, and the rear foot, the hind foot was at a weird, what was the problem with it?
Way too much foot.
Okay.
And the pressure was to the point. It had been there a long time, because it's like you picked up the fetlock, and it's like the movement in the coffin joint was not normal at all.
All right.
I mean, it kind of flopped around in your hand.
So Mike trimmed the rear foot and got it basically standing up a little bit better.
Right.
And now we're going to go over to the front foot. And this is what the front foot looked like.
This is what the front feet looked like.
Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit.
There you go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Got the zoomies. And,
he's almost elf-toeing it.
He is an elf. He's a really good guy. I mean, he tried very hard, and he was very patient with us. And, very kind-hearted fella. So he was trying his best.
He knew that you were helping him, Mike, and he wanted help.
He wanted help. And since he's been here, he's had some decent groceries, and he's put some weight on, because he was apparently pretty darn thin. And he hadn't been there very long. And he is in veterinary care, because the person who was taking him is a large animal vet that I've worked with. And actually, she has been involved in a lot of podiatry stuff, Katie Lepresti.
Okay.
And at some point, we'll have Katie on here. But, these are the front feet before. And, the idea is to get this guy happy to where he can live a more normal life without damaging him. So we removed all the shoes, we trimmed, and
you ready for the next picture?
Yes.
Okay.
And
this is, look how pretty. Look how pretty.
We didn't try to do a showroom trim or anything. We didn't try to polish them spotless. But you can see the stress rings in the hoof from the damage and torque and everything else. But that's a little happier foot than where we started.
Now, a situation like this, he had enough foot underneath it.
He had a lot of foot underneath
that you could trim this much off. Because, I mean, you've taken off at least 3/4 of an inch of the bottom.
I probably took off 1.5 inches on that back foot.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it all the way down to clean foot, because it'd been so long since these feet have seen the ground. I wanted him to be able to walk.
Right.
And he doesn't, underneath all that, he doesn't have any good hard sole callus built up, which that's going to take some time. And I want to leave him something in there for him to wear out, and let those feet start adapting to being horse feet again. Look at that!
Look at that! That looks so good.
So that's, his fetlocks are a little puffed up, and they've had a lot of strain on them.
So will you put shoes on him now, or just let this?
No. The question was on that hind foot is, let's see what he does. And if I had to have done anything on the foot to stabilize the leg, it would have been that one hind foot. But so far, we're going to give him a chance. I'm going to see him again in a couple of weeks. And then we can go from there. And you've got some videos of him, right? I
do have videos. Now we have some quote unquote before videos and then after videos. So this one right here, let's get this up and rolling here. Let me, hold on.
Okay. And that's before we trim the feet.
Let's switch over to camera 6 here so you can see it. Now, Mike took it straight up and down, and then he took it sideways. So bear with us as the camera goes sideways.
Somebody has not figured out technology yet.
So this is before he's done anything. And watch that back heel here. Yeah.
And when he loads that thing, that toe is lifting up off the ground. And you're really considering that. He's staying happier than he should, And he's a good boy. He is a very good boy. Right. And there's after we trim the foot, and the foot is landing flat and staying flat on the ground. The toes aren't turning up in the air. And actually, on that other side, we're probably getting a little less drop in the pasture than we were because everything's not run so far out in front of him.
Oh, it looks so much better.
But that other leg, look how straight it goes.
Yep.
That is just way too straight. And we're kind of thinking that maybe the reason trying to figure out how that one ended up so much longer. But that horse goes really straight in the hock and stifle on that right hind.
I'm watching his left hind.
The left hind's the one the toe was turning up on.
I know, but I'm watching him. It looks like he's favoring it just a little bit because I'm sure it's sore.
Sure.
You can see he's like,
But he's a heck of a lot happier than he was. And this is just immediately after we took the foot off. So he's got some time to figure himself out. And he got to go outside for a little bit of a sprint around the field.
I was going to say, then the vet took a picture of him running around.
Yeah.
And here he is. Look at him.
Is not feeling bad. And the goal with him is to get him in a happy place, not for him to be a riding horse or anything like that, because there's some damage.
There he goes. There he goes. Look at him.
Is he not feeling a lot better than when we first saw him and he couldn't move?
Who's a good boy?
He is a happy boy there, And that
he's probably so excited to be out and to be able to.
He's been shut in the stall for a while, and he's they have not sprayed this field with Pasture Pro.
No, but they don't have the marigolds or the buttercups or the bitter ivy or bitter whatever you call it.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, here he comes over to the camera. Come see mommy. Here he goes.
He's a friendly guy.
He looks good.
And he is very, very cooperative. And he just wants life to be easy. So there he can, we can start getting him to be a happy horse, and he can be a happy horse somewhere.
Well, good job, Mike. Good job. All right, guys, we're going to take one little break and let you get back to playing with your ponies. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you'd like this podcast to perform out at your location, we can do that as well. The way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says clinics. Fill out that little form. We'll punch you in. We've got a couple shows coming up. Mike's still waiting for the final dates on the exact times and everything, so we'll let you know when you can come out and find us. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town called Marshville. We're out in Union County. We broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we can do this podcast, and Mike can also do clinics out at your location as well. And all that information can be found on the equinedynamics.com page. And over to my far right side, my very own clinician is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I want to just say congratulations on that and on getting that hold of that horse and doing something for that little fella.
I just was where I was, and got to congratulate Katie for taking him in. And
not giving up.
And not giving up on him. And, we didn't know until we started trimming him how that hind foot was going to stabilize. If it continued to want to rock back and tip up, we may have had to do something to stabilize the foot, put an extension out the back or something to give the tendons and ligaments a chance to heal up and get in a better place and strengthen back up so the foot can behave more normally. But he's handling it okay.
All right, Mike, what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
Talking terminology, we're talking about blocked heels and caulk. And the reason why we bring these up is because Mike just dealt with them in the last video that you just saw. So when we say blocked heels and caulk, C-A-L-K, what are we talking about and what are we discussing?
Yeah, a block heel is they fold a piece of metal over and fold it over on top of itself, weld it in, and you can put a much larger area than a caulk. A forged-in caulk, you turn the metal straight up, make it 90, drive it back down on itself. Sometimes you will taper it so it has ground penetration. And nowadays, for traction devices on your event horses, pretty much everything we do, screw caulks where we thread the shoe, and you can change the caulks in and out.
And also the series of X-rays that we had here. Now I'm going to switch back over to camera 6 here, and we can see this in real time. This is the horse that you went out there and saw, and it had the really, really bad. You know what? Let's go here first so you can see what the horse's feet look like at first.
That's that bad hind foot, and he.
And that's
the bad hind foot.
And that's the X-ray from the bad.
Right, and we got him in a much better place, and he's walking. He went out, and got to frolic in the field. And felt like a horse a little bit, which has been a long time since he's felt like moving.
And that's the after trim?
That's the after on the hind foot.
On the hind foot. And this is the front foot.
That's the front foot.
He looks like he's got lady slippers on.
He does have lady slippers on.
And then this is the actual trimming of the front feet. Now it's not show ready, but it is.
No, we didn't go for making it polishing the outside of the foot or anything like that. We just want to get some foot off this horse. I'm going to see him again in a couple of weeks. We'll probably trim him again, do a little cleanup and maintenance in a couple of weeks, and we treated him for a bunch of thrush.
So did you? Are you worried about putting shoes on him at all, or at this point?
As long as that hind leg stabilizes itself and he doesn't come up with any reasons for us to have to, the plan is to keep him where he can enjoy his life and be a happy horse.
And this is the video of the before. Pardon me, because Mike spins the camera sideways on this one. So, but you watch this right, left, how much it's laying flat on the ground. I mean, literally what's that heel?
He's rolling back onto the bulb of his heels almost.
Yes.
And the toes going up in the air. And he's using those caulks on the back of the shoe are kind of a fulcrum he's rocking back on.
You see these right here? That's what I have in my yard. See those little buttercups?
Yes.
That's what I have in my yard if you're watching this here on the video. Those little yellow flowers. And then this is right after the trim. And look how flat up.
That's a lot happier. And
yeah, he's doing good.
He's doing much better than he was.
He looks a little bit more comfortable. It might be a little tender, might be a little sore. I mean,
I don't know that it's even that really, because I didn't take all the dead sole out, and I wasn't going to with the situation. And he's going to wear that out. And he did have a lot of thrush. Treated him all the way around, and we will go back in there in a couple of weeks and take a look at see what we got to do there. And
this is probably about 30-45 minutes after Mike left. This is him running around in the pasture, just having a grand old time.
Looks like a happy boy, doesn't he?
He's watching you leave the thing. He's like, yay, he helped me. And he gives a little buck there, a little whinny, and then takes off running.
A little stiff out of that buck, but considering where he is
and where he was,
that's an awfully happy guy,
Yes. Where we at? All right, guys, don't forget, go over to equinedynamics.com and leave us a message. The way you do that is if you want to just type us an email, ask Mike Stine a question, just go there and type on contacts, fill out that little form, make sure you put a physical address on there, and you can, we'll send you out some free stuff. We have some brand new free stuff coming in, which will be in next week, and I'll show Mike that as well. And you can be part of the show, and the way you do that is go to join the podcast, click on that, opens up another page. You can see all the different podcasts that we've been doing over here for the last 4 years. We've been doing the show, and we appreciate everyone that's been listening to us and all that. And now's your chance to be part of the show. Leave us a message, comes right to our inbox, and we'll play your voice right here alongside of us. And if you'd like us to perform out at your location in a clinic or anything like that, we can do that as well. On behalf of Mike Stine over there,
have a good day. Enjoy your ponies.
My name is Travis Sain. See you next week.
Today'd be a good day to give them a bath. Just take them out, put a little soap on them, scrub them. You don't even need water.
That's right. My name is Travis Sain. See you next week.
Are in the corral. All of your work is done.
There you go.
Just close your eyes and dream, little pal. Dream of someone.
Lucky.
Good night, Ned.
Night, Dusty.
Good night, Ned.
Good night, Ned.